Hello, welcome to Geeks Unleashed Live. This is episode 203. Who thought it? We finally made it onto YouTube, Jasmine.
I know it only took forever, but we're here. We're here. That's all that matters.
We have been live before, but do you know what? It's been 3 years since we've been live.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so I will just change something. Okay, so I can see if anybody does chat. I can see comments. We are going to put the audio onto YouTube, so as this is a bit of a different show, I may address the odd comment, but if they're but if we're in the middle of something, I may not, because obviously I appreciate people listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever the podcast is you're using. You cannot see us. Actually, on Spotify, if I upload the video, you will be able to see us.
Yeah.
We've had a bit of a longer break. Although I haven't said that, we did discuss this between episode 99 and episode 100. We did have just under 3 month break actually back then. So I assume every now and again, breaks are needed. And talking of breaks, Jasmine is, this is our last episode together and potentially our last episode in this format. We haven't really quite had a detailed conversation. Jasmine can fill you in. Jasmine is not gone forever, but gone for now. Jasmine has committed to finishing off, actually, I forgot to grab it, finishing off what has been a saga of 6 years. So, in the end of December, at some point during December, me, Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers, and obviously Jasmine will come back and review this. So,
yes,
Jasmine
it is
not
our
gone.
Christmas tradition. I
Yeah.
would not interrupt Christmas for the kids.
We're back to do this, and hopefully this time around we'll do it live. So, this is weird. I just found a little bookmark in there where I must have bought Volume 6 ages ago. So apparently I bought this in Oxford, which I did not know. Yes, so Christmas tradition around Geeks Unleashed, around the Geeks Unleashed house is Scott Pilgrim. Jasmine will be back at the end of the year for Scott Pilgrim. This is, like I say, the final episode of Geeks Unleashed, episode 203, and it will continue Geeks Unleashed, but we'll let Jasmine have a Jasmine, you want to jump in?
Yes, it is. It is not the end. It is a temporary reprieve, so to speak. It is just a matter of hitting that wall within yourself where you just can't do it all anymore. And so gonna take a break and get it all together and hopefully be back kicking off 2026 with a bang.
Amazing. Actually, before we go any further, I know a lot of people do these YouTube things and have really cool intros and all this kind of stuff. This is the first time I've really played around with a live, so to speak. And in fact, even that little thing at the beginning and I've got a little thing at the end, those I've kind of just put together myself. I will endeavor to work out a little bit more. Even fiddling around with the back end of this, I'm just trying to say to people listening or watching, just bear with me. You learn something. Was it every day of school, as they say? This was definitely several hours of investment into figuring out the back end of this. So, which is it's been cool. I've enjoyed learning, but I decided to not get overly complicated with elaborate videos and audios and all the rest of it. I actually think I have now worked out what I could do in regards to all of that. But yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, well, that intro was really cool. So kudos to you. The music was banging. I like it.
That was free music, by the way. So
we love free.
Anyway, one last time, Jasmine, do you want to hit us with the before?
So, before we get started, since you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We appreciate that. We would also love it if you would like this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, we appreciate that as well. We would also love it if you would leave us a 5-star review on Podchaser, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
Thank you very much. There you go. She couldn't have said it better. Oh, I couldn't have said it better. Sorry. I couldn't have said it better. Do you know, I feel like I'm getting rusty doing this. It's been a while, as well as doing it live. I think I've got like live nerves as well as like rustiness. So
I think there's always like a little nerves you got to shake off when you do something live. Like it's like the first 10 minutes and you'll be fine.
but no, like live, but also we haven't done this for, well, we like
About
stopped
2 months at this point, I think.
stopped around mid-August. So yeah.
Yeah.
But like January until like mid-August, we like powered through. Sometimes we were doing a couple of episodes in a week.
Yeah.
There was one weekend actually where we did 4 episodes in one weekend.
Oh man, that was rough.
Right, okay. So, and again, well, another last time. Ko-Fi, we have Ko-Fi. Do you know what? I haven't had any links in, but I'll have to go back and add links and stuff. But please donate. And one last time again. Well, hopefully it's not one last time. It's one last time between the two of us, shall we say, this year in 2025. It's a feature that we introduced around episode 100. It's called Geek of the Week. Geek of the Week is something that I've done or Jasmine has done in the last potential 7 days that we've enjoyed on our own. And I'm going to shout it out after Jasmine. Sorry. Go on, you go first.
So, of course, I got to go out on an anime. And my Geek of the Week this week is I just started watching. It's 5 episodes so far. Karaoke Iko, which is Let's Go Karaoke. And it is the most ridiculous premise I've ever heard of. It's this kid who is in middle school who has like all of this stress because he hasn't hit puberty yet, and so he has a soprano voice and he's in his school choir. So he's really nervous about his voice changing before the big like choir concert at the end of the year. But they won second place, like his school won second place at this other tournament. And this Yakuza guy was at the tournament and he came up to this kid and he was like, hey, I want you to be my teacher. Help me get better at karaoke because my boss has this big karaoke competition for the entire like gang. And whoever's the worst singer has to get tattooed by the boss. And he's like, I don't want to be in last place. So you got to help me and be my teacher. And so like the whole time you're watching, you're like, this is so bizarre. Like, how would this ever happen? But it was really interesting. And I got such a kick out of just watching the dynamic between this Yakuza guy who is dead set on singing this one song that just does not fit his vibe at all. It was a wild ride so far. 5 episodes. Let's Go Karaoke. If you are interested in seeing like a middle school kid teach a Yakuza how to karaoke better, it's for you.
I don't have any anime to shout out, so I will. There you go. Do you know what? That's something new again. There you go. I'm going to shout out Peacemaker season 2. It's been a long time. 2022 we reviewed season 1. That's crazy. Like, you know, we're almost into 2026. Like almost.
Yeah, well, it's not that crazy. It took them that long. That's not our fault.
Yeah, no, I know. So I finished Peacemakers. Do you know what? I wasn't even in the. I kind of when season 2 came out almost 8 weeks ago. I wasn't really in the mood for it. But in the last 7 days, I've basically binged the whole thing. Last night I watched 3 episodes, and then this morning I woke up and watched the finale. I debated on like how I felt on it, sort of 3.5 to 4 out of 5. I was kind of around that mark. I'm not going to go into vast amounts of detail here. I think season 2 is much stronger in terms of characterization.
Okay.
They do a lot of work there. I would say for me, Peacemaker overall is still like a lovable idiot, so to speak.
Yeah.
But even his character towards the end is kind of moving away from violence. And whilst I think a lot of his motivations are driven by his own selfishness, and then the real for me, and I'm terrible at names, but for me the 3 main ladies of the show are the driving force and the just what I loved about the show. I think for me they were just amazing. I loved it. The women really help push the show forward and save the day and you know all this kind of stuff. There's some good cameos in there, but I like the fact that Jimmy Gunn didn't overdo those cameos, and he didn't. And also, there's sometimes people make a mistake. He didn't make the last episode about a cameo or anything like that. And I don't know if you know too much about season 2, but there's a door where Peacemaker Chris has got from his dead father from season 1, where he can go into kind of like a large, almost like it feels like a space station, but I don't know what it is, or like a way station, and you can walk around it, and there's lots of doors that lead to this like parallel universes, and so Chris finds another Earth that he thinks is perfect. It's not perfect, but either he goes into it and doesn't see the problems in that Earth because he's either stupid or because he's so blinded by the reasons why he wants to be there because they're for himself. And then when Harcourt shows up, she literally points them out to him, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't see that." And literally, those are his words. But yeah, and then I don't want to ruin too much, but maybe there's some. No, I can't say. I'd ruin it. What I would say. So there's no way of me saying it without giving away. But yeah, I trying to get out of that hole now. I was about to reveal something about the show, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It for the most part kind of wraps up at the end, and then they have this whole thing where it sort of fades to black, and you think, oh, that's cool, and then they throw in a little thing at the end. So,
okay, well, it is on my to-do list, but it's not very high on my to-do list.
I have gone through a thing where I've like the last 2 or 3 weeks watched like quite a bit. So I've watched The Boys season 3 and 4 and Gen V season 1 and 2, and then like I say, Peacemaker, and then last night after I'd watched 3 episodes of Peacemaker and I had nothing else to watch, I decided to go and I got in this whole comic book TV thing, and I went and watched 2 episodes of The Walking Dead. You know, the one with Negan.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I'm in a comic book TV show mood, so let's go. So.
Well, it took me a while to pick my Geek of the Week because I have been like watching documentaries on food, and that was probably not the best idea because now like there's so many things running through my head about like food, and especially like food in the US. But so I've been on like a true crime and documentary kick. Yeah,
that's weird because we spoke on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and it's really weird. We both had watched loads of documentaries over the
I blame
summer.
you. It's your fault. You were the one that started it when you started talking about that Amy Bradley.
Yeah.
On Netflix, and then I started just watching one after the next.
Literally, what happened to me? I watched Amy Bradley is Missing, and I was like, "Shit, I need to watch more of this stuff." I don't know. Yeah. I need to watch more people dying and going missing, and all this. I was like really on like a whole thing, and it's like. What, and after every time I felt like I need to watch something worse, and I was like, I was going through it, and I watched the whole what's it called, Fred West documentary that's on Netflix, and you know about him, right? Like, and like that that was horrific. Just anyway, so I kept going through more, and then I rang you, and you were like, I've done the same thing.
Yeah. So, it's contagious. I don't know what it is about true crime, but like once you start true crime, everything else is just like, okay, and another one, and another one, and another one. You know?
But then you start like overanalyzing it, like, and all of these things though that I was watching, all of them.
Like my entire Google search history right now is all about the true crime stuff and like the results of cases and all of those things. Yes, so we apologize, Sheena. We apologize for geeking out over real life events, but some of these things are really compelling where you just watch the whole thing and you're like, oh my God, how could this have happened?
Well, do you know what? You start thinking like some of the older cases where there's like less CCTV and surveillance and stuff. I kind of get how those things happen, but then obviously the modern ones, like, you know, and then There was one where I watched, which was the wife got kidnapped. The wife showed up and everything, and but the police didn't believe. Like the husband, like went to the police station. He did everything that he should, and they didn't believe her. Him. And then when the wife showed up, they then thought that they were both in it together, faking it. But it was true. The kidnapper had just let her go, and like there were so many things and in some ways CCTV had gone against them because obviously there was footage of so there wasn't enough footage. I can't remember now. And then when she showed up, she got dropped off near her parents because the kidnapper was deciding to be nice. It was you get into it, but anyway. We'll stop talking about all of this, but anyway, I've actually stopped watching all the actual real life people dying, and I've now moved on to zombies and superheroes, as it should be on Geeks Unleashed. We're
yes, and I switched back to anime, so
we're not a true crime thing. So, all right, as we have said, this episode. This is actually one of our friends, Adam, who runs a YouTube channel called Go Figure. When we told them that Jasmine was leaving / going on a long break, etc., he said, we don't call it goodbye, we say good journey, which is a phrase that has stuck with Jasmine for many years now.
Yes, ever since Mark's 40th birthday episode where they made me watch the horrifically awful, terrible film of Masters of the Universe. And the only thing that I took from that film was that line where she was like, we don't say goodbye, we say good journey.
So that's why this episode is called Good Journey. I thought you might like that, by the way.
I did appreciate that. I got real tickled when I saw the official episode name.
Right, okay. So Jasmine has decided to come up with some talking points for this week's episode. We're not doing a full review. We're just having a chat about ourselves and how wonderful we are as people.
So, yes, you're welcome.
Right, okay. So the first talking point that Jasmine has come up with, favorite thing the podcast brought you to. So would you like to go first?
I think just doing things, watching stuff, reading things that I would not have normally picked up. And one of the books that sticks out the most to me was Pulp by Ed Brubaker. Like I've heard of Brubaker, but I had never read any of his stuff. And there was a lot of buzz about this. And I remember I got the digital edition of this first, loved the digital edition so much that I went out to my comic shop the next day and I was like, do you have any copies left? And they didn't. And so I had to wait for them to order more before I could finally get my hands on a hard copy. But the book was so good, I bought it twice. Like that is one of the things that I absolutely loved about this book, but I never would have picked it. Like I definitely could have seen myself being like, oh, that looks interesting, but keep walking. But sometimes we pick up things or we read things for the podcast that I just would not have picked up on my own. And that is one of my favorite books that I never would have picked that up on my own.
Yeah, so I remember that Pulp book that came out just like on what they call New Comic Book Wednesday, where it was released as part of it was just like New Comic Book Day, essentially. Mm-hmm. And we had planned to cover something else on the podcast. I had no idea what it was. And I went into the comic book shop and I picked it up and I read it actually. And I messaged you going, I think we should cover this. And you were like, yeah, okay, go on then. And so yeah, we ended up covering Pulp. We both thought it was brilliant. It was really good stuff, really good book.
Yeah. So, that was way back on episode 9, if anybody wants to go all the way back to the beginning.
And listen to a pair of amateurs. I feel like those first...
Tell us how far we've come since then.
I feel like those first 30 episodes, we were just, I don't know, like nervousness and...
I think we were trying to just cover everything because, like, you go back and you look at like the first 50 or so episodes, and it was a double feature every episode, so it was like 2 things in each episode, and then eventually we just couldn't keep up at that pace.
Yeah, but also, no, I think a lot of it was though. It was during COVID, and we weren't going anywhere, so
Yeah.
so I could not find my copy of Pulp. It's been on this shelf forever, and I swear Jasmine flew here, took it back
Yes,
to
this
Texas.
is actually Mark's copy. I went to his house in England and I picked this book up for myself.
Honestly, do you know what? Honestly, I've seen it on the shelf. I have no idea. Unless I picked it up the other day or something. But I did. It's downstairs. I remember now. I picked it. I picked it up a couple of days ago. It's downstairs.
Okay, now are you going to apologize for blaming me?
Yeah. You obviously didn't come here. No, I remember now. Annoying. Anyway, I'm not going to go downstairs now in the middle of a live stream and go and get my Pulp, but it's downstairs. Right. Okay. So, favorite things that you brought to the podcast. One of the things I loved was the ability to tick like graphic novels. I'm going to talk about graphic novels. There's a lot of graphic novels over the years which people have considered essential graphic novels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, graphic novels that I can't believe you love comics and you haven't read those. And we created a separate thing called Late to the Party, a book club. And we did stuff in the normal Geeks Unleashed, and then sometimes we did it out. But I just like I'm actually going to start the one on the top here, Scott Pilgrim Volume 1, which actually started off, can you believe it, a crazy Christmas themed episode for the last almost 6 years. So Scott Pilgrim, that was the third episode of our book club, and that was something I'd read the first volume, but I'd never read any of the others, and it was that was our first collaboration with Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers, and we used the book club as a way of having guests on as well. And there was only one book club episode we did on our own, but the rest we always had guests on. So this was Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, which we did with our boy Link, who has been on this podcast many times, including episode 200. So
just saw him in the chat earlier too.
Yeah. He was there a minute ago. This was amazing. This was a sort of a hype book as well.
I almost put that on my list. I loved that book.
So, sorry, people listening, The Fantastic Four Full Circle. And this is a book here, The Batman The Long Halloween, which I've been meaning to read for years. Look, I'm not going to talk about these in detail here, but look, there was a couple of books we did with a really good friend of ours, a guy called Derek. We've known him. Well, I think I've known him for about 10-ish years. I think maybe you got to know him in the last 5 years, haven't you? Or did you know him previously?
I knew him when he was a writer for the website, but I didn't really chat with him the way that we chatted.
Okay. Yeah. So we got him on to do Mouse. And
no, we had Derek on to do this one.
I thought so. Who did we have for Mouse?
We had Randy.
Oh, okay. Sorry, apologies, Randy. Yeah. That was our first episode. Our first episode. Yeah, Randy. Yeah. And then this. Yeah. Sorry, I've got it here. Then we had Derek on for this. Mm-hmm. Sorry, apologies.
I don't apologize, Link. I'm not going to apologize for not liking the art. It's not my vibe.
Okay, so this is a reference to the episode we did for Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. Jasmine wasn't too keen on the artwork.
Nah, it's not for me. It wasn't for me. So
right, okay, so hold on a second. Yes, so V for Vendetta, remember the 5th of November. And we're not too far away, like 3 weeks away.
Yeah. And fantastic book.
And
so
if
good.
ever we could do it now, we could do
it now.
So, that's all I'm going to say.
It's still relevant 40 some odd years later. It is relevant to real life.
Do you know what? I've seen so many jokes. Where is Guy Fawkes when you need him most?
I know, for real.
Anyway, I will not say anymore. Right. Well, I'll get arrested. So, this book here we did with our boy Stephen Fox. So that is The Killing Joke.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of controversial things to say about this book. He is not a fan.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I saw a lot of his points of view. And and then there's other books I haven't got here. Some of them are in the garage, some of them are digitally. And there's a lady that we had on our book club, which I've been hounding Jasmine to get back.
I know.
And Jasmine just ignores me. Like,
I don't ignore you.
tell them about Deborah.
So the one of the books that we've covered with Deborah, this was our second book actually.
Yeah, I know.
But
The other one I did digitally.
this is a trilogy of graphic novels called March. It is written by a former or the late congressman, and it's about his time during the civil rights era. So the woman that we bring on for this episode, her name is Deborah, and she is amazing. She used to work for the American Library Association. She actually met John Lewis when this book was originally released. Like she was at the library that they did the event at, and it was just so fantastic. Plus, she is, obviously a retired librarian, so she has so much knowledge and so much information. But also, Deborah is a generation ahead of us, and she lived through a lot of the things that happened during the civil rights era. So being able to talk through this graphic novel with someone who actually lived the time, it's phenomenal. It's good stuff. So we do love having Deborah on because she brings a totally different perspective to some of these things that we.
I think I'm
discuss.
not trying to be rude, but it's obvious. She's older than us, like maybe
Yes.
20 years older than us. So she brings in a completely different angle, and I've only ever had her on twice, and I'm like, Jasmine, come back. So I'm hoping when Jasmine comes back, she's bringing Deborah with her.
I will do my best. So her full name is Deborah Taylor. We had her on first for They Call Us Enemy, which
Yeah.
is the nonfiction graphic novel written by George Takei about his time in the Japanese internment camps in the U.S. And that was Late to the Party, episode 7. And then we had Deborah on again for, we had her on the first time for episode 5, which was March, book 1.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a pretty good thing. We've enjoyed a lot of graphic novels over the time, and I'm hoping that as time goes, we'll actually start doing some more graphic novels. Right. Okay. So under the next subject heading, things you had no interest in before but really enjoyed them afterwards.
Now, this one, I think both of our answers are interesting. You go first this time.
Okay. So, do you know what I remember? So the films we're going to talk about are Mortal Kombat, but the new Mortal Kombat that came out, I think 2 years ago, is that right?
Yeah.
I remember the trailer dropped, and I don't remember what we were reviewing, but we were on Robbie's channel, I think, the day the trailer came out. And I was like, I'm just going to be honest, I was shitting all over the trailer. I was like, this looks like absolute fucking garbage, like just like piece of shit, whatever. I remember, like, I don't know if we were on the back chat thing with Robbie or live, I can't remember. I was just like, no, garbage, whatever. And then it came out, I don't know, 6 months later or whatever it was. And I had no enthusiasm to watch that new Mortal Kombat. And I really enjoyed it. I was like quite taken back by it. And then fast forward to, we did a month-long run on sort of fighter movies. So we did both Mortal Kombat movies, the originals. There was Mortal Kombat, was it Annihilation and Mortal Kombat? Is that right?
Yeah, the first one, and then Annihilation was the sequel.
Yeah. And then we did Street Fighter, the
with Van Damme and his cocaine.
Van Damme. And then we did the Chun-Li movie with the girl from Smallville. Mm-hmm. Now, I think we did it like every other week. I think it was Mortal Kombat, then Street Fighter, then Mortal Kombat Annihilation, then Chun-Li. I think that's how we did it. And then Devon joined us from
the Good Game Guys.
Yeah. I always get that confused, right, the wrong way around. And I think you guys gave me shit about the order of, like, because we ranked them at the end. I remember the last episode. However, that first Mortal Kombat, where I thought, I'm going to hate this movie. And when we came on the podcast, you said to me you were ready to fight me because you said, I knew you were going to, you were like, I know that Mark's going to shit all over this. Mortal Kombat's not my favorite movie. And I came in and I was like, do you know what? I actually liked it.
Yeah, but that was because, like, it was so confusing because you were like, oh, I haven't seen the first one, but you saw Annihilation. And we both thought that was so weird.
I don't remember like really watching it, but I had seen maybe like bits of it. I think I'd seen the beginning of Annihilation. I don't think I'd seen it the whole way through because it just seemed like garbage. And I was like, no, I'm not going to carry it. I didn't see all of Annihilation, but I saw a good chunk of Annihilation. And I was like, yeah, no, this looks like crap.
No, Annihilation is terrible, but that first Mortal Kombat is still one of my all-time favorites.
What I said to you was it reminded me so much of that back in the day feel, like Power Rangers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just was so into it. I thought it was amazing. Do you want to jump in?
Oh, right. So, okay. So the thing that honestly, when Mark proposed this like arc that we ended up doing,
5 weeks.
yeah, it was a lot because it was it was 5 movies, and I was like, I'm not really interested. It like, I've seen these movies before, but I'm not really. I've seen 2 of the movies before, and I wasn't really excited about doing the whole thing. But we did a big run of Fantastic Four, and we started with the documentary Doomed: The Untold Story of the Fantastic Four, or Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, and that documentary was so good. Was so good. I watched it twice. I back to back. Like as soon as it ended the first time, I was like, oh, I need to watch this again. And I was just like, I never cared about this franchise before. And for whatever reason, that documentary was super compelling. And it was just so interesting how you could feel the anger from that original cast, even 40 years later. I mean,
so I think we watched the Roger Corman movie, then the documentary, then the 2 Jessica Alba films, and then the
one with Miles Teller.
Yeah. I've forgotten all of the names. You know, in my mind, I could see all of their faces. Like, yeah. Then we did all 5 movies, and yeah, I remember saying to you at the end, like, what was your favorite? And you were the documentary. And the documentary, if no one's watched the Untold Story of the Fantastic Four, it was a Kickstarter-funded documentary about the Roger Corman movie, and I love that we got to do all 5 together because you realise how important the Roger Corman film is to even the Miles Teller movie. Without the Roger Corman movie, there was no other films.
Yeah. And I got so excited, like, because I watched that documentary, I got so excited when I was watching the new Fantastic Four and the original guy popped up. Like, well, all 4 of them from that original movie are in the new Fantastic Four film from Marvel. And I just remember being in the theater like, it's that guy. It's the guy from the movie.
I watched it twice and I've still missed them. Like, still, I'll have to.
So Ben and Johnny are like construction workers. So they're in one of the construction scenes. And then Reed and Sue are news reporters or newscasters. So they're in one of those sequences with the news when they're telling the news stories.
I might have to just Google the images or something. I don't know. I saw it twice, like I say. So, okay. Right. Moving on from this, our next thing is favorite episode format and/or episode feature. So, we've kind of just. I'm gonna quickly come in here. I had written down those Fantastic Four films as one of my favorite things that we've done. However, the other one I want to bring up things I did say, as well as I've written this down. We did 5 weeks of Blade, and we did the three movie trilogy. And this is the bit I loved because you'd never seen it, you didn't even know it existed. The Sticky Fingers season 1, where he's now Blade. So we split that across 2 episodes because it was quite chunky, even though it's only 10-episode series. They were I think they were like hour-long episodes or something. So we split it across 2 weeks. And you actually, by the end of it, liked the show.
Yeah. I had heard of it. I just never watched it.
Oh, I thought you hadn't heard of it. Sorry.
No, I knew about it, but I never watched it. Mainly because I was still at the time. I was very much the only Blair is Wesley Snipes, and apparently that's going to be the case forever. Except I watched the first episode of Marvel Zombies, and we have Blade in Marvel Zombies.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the show.
When did you watch Marvel Zombies?
Actually, when I was in LA, I started watching it when I was visiting my friends in LA. So I didn't finish it. I only got 2 episodes in.
Okay, I need to watch that. Sorry. All right, don't ruin it. I need to catch up. I thought I'd do the live action stuff before the animation. Sorry. But yeah, anyway, like Blade. I love that run that we did. I thought it was
Mhm.
cool. We did it around October time. It was kind of a Halloweenish theme. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, and my favorite feature, I mean, we talked about it already, but the Late to the Party book club, I think it's so fun. And but I would say my favorite contribution to that is getting to cover the nonfiction graphic novels. Just because I feel like it's it's a nice to have, right? Like
Mhm.
we get the fiction stuff all the time, but to actually have real life stories told in this format that we love so much is really, really fun. So that's my favorite thing that we do on the podcast is when we get down and dirty with the nonfiction stuff.
I agree totally. I think though, what I love about Late to the Party is the people that we've had on the show, on that
Mhm.
show. Some of those people have never been on the main Geeks and Niche. They've just come on just for the book club. So it's been cool to kind of interact with a variety of people that we're friends with. Well, they're all people that we're friends with, but like, and to bring their knowledge and experience in to that show. So
Yeah.
right, okay, so um, oh yeah, I want you to talk about this. So, all right, there's things that stuck with us afterwards. We both shouted this. You know, we were prepping for this show, and we both shouted this out. And I want you to go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. I want you to go
Okay.
first.
So it was really funny because we didn't plan this before. And so immediately when I thought of this question, this was the first thing that came to my mind. But way back, episode 66, we covered a series. It was the first 6 issues of a
I think it
book.
was a mini series.
Oh, was it just the 6?
Yeah, I think it was a mini series.
Because we got advanced copies from the publisher, if I
Yeah,
recall. So we covered the Cult of Dracula, and just we didn't enjoy it. We disliked it so much that we had to figure out how to even do the episode without just like shitting all over the what we had read. And it was really difficult to do just because it was so far left of anything that we had ever imagined like a Dracula story would be. But the craziest part was the
I was going to
author.
say just to jump in. It's a mini series and it's published by a small independent company called Source Point Press. So we had got an advanced copy of it,
Mhm.
and then when we read it, what we did before you go any further, we did a lot of research on the foundations of the book and the history and the
Right.
author's relationship with his wife, who unfortunately had passed away. It had been turned into a stage show. Apparently, it's sold movie rights to it. But there was such an interesting story before the graphic novel. I remember what we said in the review was that we found more interesting than the graphic novel. So I just wanted to jump in there just to throw that in. Go on.
Yeah, but it was so we tried to be as like we weren't trying to change the way that we wanted to review the book, but we just didn't want to be like mean about it. And the author reached out to us after that episode dropped, and it was the exchange was just unlike anything we had seen before. Because first of all, we were both like, "Did that guy really just like email us? Like, did he really just email us to ask us why we thought what we thought?" So I think we had like 2 or 3 emails going back and forth, and I remember him ending the email with like, "Well, if I were to take some of these things into consideration and rewrite it, would you guys re-review it?" And we were like, "Yeah, I mean, sure."
I think, yeah, didn't he say if he made a sequel or something, could we review
Well,
it?
he said he had plans for a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we ever heard from him after
No, I
that,
never
but
heard from him again.
it was just really interesting that that was the first time that it ever happened to us where like the author of whatever it was we were covering reached out to us and be like, "Hey, so saw your review, I have some questions."
Yeah. I remember reading that email and I was like, oh, he did the first email. I was like, that guy's not happy. And I said to you, could you reply? Because I don't know what to say to him. So Yeah.
I had to put my sales
Hmm.
executive hat on to reply to that email. It was just a really crazy turn of events that we had never in a million years expected.
Right. Yeah, I think I thought, oh, this will be cool because I think I lined up like also we lined up like a theme of Halloween-ish episodes, and I was like, actually, you know what, it'd be cool. Let's review an indie
Mhm.
comic book, and the Source Point Press sent us advanced copies for us to read the whole thing. They said, oh, when it goes live, can you send us the link? I didn't because of just how much we talked badly about it. Because I was like, oh, I can't send this link to them. It's like this. What am I going to say? Like, here's a review to our honest review of just how bad it is. So, yeah. But in honesty, do you know what? If anyone listening or watching, go and look up the details of like this guy's backstory. It is actually genuinely interesting. It's just a shame that the graphic novel was not.
I mean, and maybe other people loved it. It's just like it just was not clearly it was not for us. Like it was not for us.
No, no, not at all. Okay, so things that stuck with me. Um, I mainly want to shout out, I think, my 40th birthday thing. So we did a 40th birthday episode on here where we brought Adam from Go Figure, who lives in Canada, Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers, and we discussed the best movie of all time, Jean-Claude Van Damme's Masters of the Universe. So that episode really, really did stick with me because Jasmine has not let it go since
Nope.
that episode.
Sure. Obviously, it stuck with me too. So you know.
Every episode since then, sometimes I embrace it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, like what I think what it was is I did it for one or two episodes afterwards as a bit of a joke. I ended the episode saying "good journey" just to, what was it, high spirits, shall we say? And yeah, then she's like, do you know what? F this. I'm just not going to let this joke go. She turned it around on me, and yeah, so every episode.
At this point, it's been like 80 episodes.
But yeah, that was why that episode has always stuck with me because now every episode ends with "good journey," and it's because I thought it was funny to keep saying it. So I said it for like 2 or 3 episodes, and then Jasmine was like, "Nope."
No, I co-opted it. It's mine now.
Right, okay. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, and, well, actually, no. I will say one other thing, which I think, in a way, leads into your next point. A favorite of yours that you got to share in the podcast, and you're going to talk about anime, and actually, it's one particular anime you're going to talk about has stuck with me.
Yep.
Because I actually talk about how good it is. Like I was literally talking about it a couple of days ago with someone. Actually, I think it might have been Link, but I was talking about how I need to watch the second season, and there are many things that stuck with me: the music, the animation, just the drama, everything. It was a really cool show. And one of the things that also stuck with me was the horribleness of the guy eating the fingers. I was like, oh, disgusting. So, but yeah, anyway, go on. What's your favorite thing you want to?
So favorite thing, obviously, was just like sharing this love of anime, which honestly, it was new to me because of COVID. I started watching anime, so I'm a newcomer to anime. Familiar with the genre and knew about a whole bunch of the really popular stuff, but I just had never really watched it as part of like my geekiness. So when COVID happened, that was like one of my, I got to find some entertainment somewhere. And this is the anime that started it all for me, Psycho-Pass.
Mhm.
So loved this anime. It's probably my favorite anime of all time. But getting Mark to actually watch something that I was really digging. And so finally got Mark to watch Jujutsu Kaisen, and he loved it. And I was surprised because I was like, oh, it's kind of gory. I don't know. It's kind of violent, but I really love it. Maybe I think you would like it. So it really just made me happy that I got to pass something on to someone else. So that was really cool. I got Mark to get into JJK. So go me.
Yeah, no, I really loved it. I thought it was great. And we've done a few anime. There was Japan Sinks. I can't remember. There was that 2-season show that we did that we really liked. I think it was like not. I think it was European anime.
Oh yeah, the one from Spain.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the name of it.
And actually, those episodes we surprised us. They a lot of people listen to those. This is before we put anything on YouTube. The numbers were really high for that show, and I forgot the name of it now. But
Oh, the Idun Chronicles.
I really liked that, and they didn't carry on after the second season. So
Yeah, that was way back. That was right in COVID. That was way back, episode 15 in September of 2020. Yes, I want to see your Halloween costume, Sheena, if you're going to be Ghetto. Yes, please. They were. They totally were. Lost loves, unfortunately.
Okay, so so favorite things that I brought to the podcast or got to share on the podcast. I'm going to be honest. This is the episode I want to share again. Actually, it's a late to the party episode. We reviewed Fables Volume 1 and 2. So I talk about Fables a lot to people that don't like comics. No, sorry, that's not true. People that have no idea about comics. I think Fables as a comic book graphic novel are a really easy entry medium for people that don't know a lot about comics, that maybe are interested, maybe want to dip their toe in, whatever. I would not recommend Spider-Man or X-Men unless it was something standalone. I wouldn't go and say pick up issue 787 of Spider-Man or Action Comics or Batman or whatever. Not unless you're actually of the mindset of I'm happy to jump in with no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. Now, Fables, I think, is really good because it's good for men and for women. But I think what's good about it is that it covers, the main characters are people we know, but you don't need to know anything about them, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Right. So they cover, everybody knows the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah, the Big Bad Wolf, Snow White, Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk. All of these are characters that we've grown up with. You know, when we were 4, 5, 6, whatever. These are stories that our parents told us, or grandparents would give us folklore book stories, etc. And we would sit down and we'd embrace them as kids and our imagination, etc. And then a Vertigo book came along called Fables, which went on for over 150 issues now. But and as it went on, it did become a little bit more complex. But the first few volumes, are actually quite simple and easy to follow. And honestly, you could probably read issue 1 to 150 and you would be fine. It's not something that really requires jumping around all over the place. Mm-hmm. But in this universe, this is what I loved. It was one of the first Vertigo comics I came across. And something I loved was that actually the Big Bad Wolf is a detective, and running a town within New York City itself. It was just cool. But I then got to share that with Jasmine. You'd never read it, had you?
No, I had never actually read. I'd heard of Fables, but I'd never actually picked up Fables and read them.
Yeah. And the only episode that we had, and Jen from Comics Will Break Your Heart, she came on the episode. It's the only episode that we ever had her on. And I reached out to her and I just asked if she fancied coming on, and it was so cool and amazing to be able to share that. And she knew about it already, but it was just amazing to have her on.
Yeah, it was a fantastic conversation because we got to talk about all kinds of stuff just outside of comics about, talking about how Snow White actually had some agency in this story for once, when in her original story she doesn't, So it was such a good conversation when we talked about Fables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was cool, and it's things like doing this podcast, it's just amazing. So,
yes, I have played Wolf Among Us. I love that game. It's so good.
I've only played maybe 10 minutes of it. It's something that I want to do at some point. I just don't own it. I played a free trial or something. But no, I've not played the Wolf Among Us.
Oh, it was really fantastic. The way that Telltale does their storytelling is really interesting. I had heard that they were trying to bring a sequel forward, but there was money troubles, and Telltale had been in and out of bankruptcy. So I don't know if we're ever going to get a sequel to The Wolf Among Us, but I definitely enjoyed that game.
And then I don't know if you know this, but they made a comic book adaptation of The Wolf Among Us.
No, I didn't know that.
So there we go. But, right. Okay. So we're almost finished. And Jasmine wrote down a subject here, which I was a bit like when I read this, I was like, "What?" She wrote, "What's the most annoying thing about podcasting?" I've written down nothing. I mean, I guess so. Jasmine, you can shout out your one.
Homework.
I will come back to this part here. So I do agree. Sometimes some episodes felt more mature than others. There was an episode where we reviewed a film that Tom Holland was in. What was it called? The Devil. What was it called? The Devil or something?
Devil All the Time, I think.
Something like that. Like there was episodes where we probably did review stuff that we really didn't enjoy, and luckily we never did an episode of Craven.
But we did 2 Venom episodes, so close enough.
Although the second episode with Venom was really cool because we had I forgot his name, but the guy from Two Brothers in a Water Cooler when they used to have a podcast.
Oh, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. And I think doing it with him, he was just laughing the whole way through.
Oh, yeah.
So it made it more
He was
fun.
very much like, I can't believe you guys actually got me to watch this stupid movie.
He wanted to come on and talk about a Kickstarter he was doing. And I said, okay, fine, come on. But we're also wanting to review this movie. So he went, fine. So we did like 2 things. We did his Kickstarter at the beginning and then Venom 2, which, yeah. Right, okay. So actually, this is what I would like to say. I didn't find anything about the podcast really overly annoying. However, what I wanted to say is in the last 5 years, I've just found it a really, wonderful experience. I've got to hang out with Jasmine for the most part, most weeks over the last 5 years, which actually is something I enjoy, and not to be all over the top or emotional about it. And over the last 5 years as well, we've had some amazing guests, and we've got to talk about some really cool shit, and I've got to find stuff I didn't know, and I'm probably the same for you. We've learned stuff. We've both watched content that we've both enjoyed, and some of it's content we've neither of us enjoyed. I've found this experience, I guess, kind of a unique experience. We heard that during COVID there was millions of podcasts that got launched, and within 6 months most of them were dead. And you can go online and you'll find people that started podcasts and got to like episode 3 or 4, and that was it, they were done. And we've carried on, and here we are on episode 203. Obviously I know we did talk at the end of 202 that we were going to do a bunch of stuff that will hopefully happen at some point. But yeah, we're just changing things up a little bit, and I even for the most part enjoyed the last 5 years. I think it's been great, but there are some episodes that maybe are not for us, but that's the thing though, when you pick something you don't know,
you never know
into it, if you're going to enjoy it or not. And even there's some graphic novels, I don't have it on me, Persepolis, is that how you say it?
Yes, Persepolis.
I did not really enjoy that. I made myself get through it. I took things from it, but one of the other things that I've really enjoyed is actually the people that we've met online. We've got to go onto other people's shows. We've got to hang out with some really cool people. Link and Sheena potentially have been watching this the whole way through, and they've both been on here. We've enjoyed having them on, and we've been on we've been on Fables and Robbie's shows, I think, and we've been on Two Brothers in the Water Cooler. We've been on theirs. You were on the Good Game Guys podcast, I think.
I did a Mass Effect episode with that one.
Yeah. I actually lined you up for that. I saw that they were setting up an episode for Mass Effect. I was like, well, you've got to get Jasmine in. None of you guys knew each other, but I saw them talking about it or something, and I was like, you two have got to get together. yeah, no, those are like, I think there's been some cool things that we've done over the last 5 years. So
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think like the homework piece also, just because I feel like we take it seriously. So that homework includes like finding the fun facts that I
yeah,
use for some of the episodes, or getting the backstory on some things, finding out the little known trivia. So there's a lot of background work that goes into podcasting. And I think it's one of those things where I feel like I need the time and the space to deliver the best version of myself, and I just don't have it now. So that's one of the reasons why I'm taking the break. It's just I don't have the time to dedicate that I want to dedicate, and I don't want the quality of what we put out to suffer because of that.
yeah. No, I know what you mean about like finding stuff out. Like, you know, to circle back to the Cult of Dracula, we read it, but also the research we did into the making of it all. And maybe there's some episodes that maybe we've, you know, phoned in, but in the most part, I think we've tried to deliver actually a well-researched episode, and hopefully that's worked. So, and I think we've improved over time. We've definitely not, we're not professionals. We've, you know,
We're totally professionals.
Neither of us have professional broadcasting degrees, but we've both brought stuff to this from our own backgrounds, and hopefully, yeah, you know, hopefully people have enjoyed listening to us and watching us occasionally when we're on YouTube. The plan is, though, that when we do these, we will still do these on YouTube. So plan is now to do both. Right, okay. Going to start to wind things up now, but look, Jasmine, I just wanted to say thanks for being my co-host for the last 5 years, and obviously I don't want you to go anywhere. I know you promised me you're coming back. I got you to sign a document earlier. Obviously I didn't, but you know, I don't want Jasmine to go anywhere, but I obviously would rather she took a break than disappearing altogether. So,
well, it's you know, I think we've always been really good about adjusting our format as well and trying different things. So I think we've got some ideas on how we want to do things a little bit differently. So I feel like when I come back, we'll have some really, really good things to show for it. So
yeah. But Jasmine has got one more show this year, which is tomorrow. No, I'm joking. No, Jasmine has got one more show. We talked about it earlier. We will be reviewing Scott Pilgrim Volume 6. So our next episode together as a duo will be, well, it won't be as a duo, it'll be as a threesome, so to speak. So me, you, and Robbie will be back at the end of December to review Scott Pilgrim Volume 6.
it's a trio, not a threesome. It's not that kind of show.
Do you know what? I couldn't think of the word. Like, there you go. Yeah. Sorry. He might be up for that though. So anyway, however, in the next few months, I may come back and do some stuff. I may, you know, I may get bored. You know,
Mark is definitely going to experiment. I fully believe it.
I think I might play around with YouTube a little bit. We've had some conversations around.
Oh, see, look what you started. Look what you did.
Yeah, there's some comments in the YouTube about threesomes now. So
That's a different rating on YouTube. I don't think that our channel can go there. Okay.
Sheena's just getting jealous. So
That's the wrong platform. I think you're thinking of OnlyFans, Mark.
do you know what? When you press live, there's no option to go live on OnlyFans. It's a shame. That's all I'm saying.
Is it? Is it though?
Maybe that's one of the things we could bring in, like graphic novel reviews, only comics.
No.
Right. Anyway, we're still on social media. We're everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, X, Blue Sky. Although actually, I haven't really been using Blue Sky. I don't know if anyone's actually over there anymore. Mainly Instagram, Facebook, and I don't really use X that much, if I'm honest. Occasionally, I remember to put these things out on X, but it seems to be Instagram, Facebook, mainly. Please come say hi. But now on YouTube, you can drop a comment. You can, like, after it's live, and you can go back and rewatch. You can put comments in. So one of the things I would say, if you are watching, please just put a comment and say hello. So tell us some of your favorite episodes of the last 5 years or something.
Mark is a total social butterfly. He will definitely reply to you.
At some point. No, I haven't really been using YouTube. I've been neglecting it, so I am going to be better at it now. So, with that said, we should probably say goodbye.
Well, we
Or
don't
good
say
journey.
goodbye. We say good journey.